Hello dear students, welcome back again to our classroom. In this video, we will cover the following objectives. Let's recall some points from the previous video. How many types of crosses do we have so far? Name them. Hybridization and self-fertilization. Number 2. If the two parents are of pure race, what is the result of the F1 generation? It is hybrid 100%. Number 3. When the two parents are of hybrid race, what is the result of the offspring or the children? It will be 75% expressing the dominant allele and 25% expressing the recessive allele. What if one of the parents is pure and the other is hybrid? Now we want to cross a parent of hybrid race with another one of pure race. The purple allele is dominant over the white allele. Capital P is the symbol of the purple dominant allele and small w is the symbol of the white recessive allele. A cross is done between a purple flower of hybrid race and a white flower of pure race. The genotype of the purple flower which is hybrid is PW and the white flower which is of pure race is WW. Make factorial analysis to determine the phenotypic and genotypic proportions of the descendants or the offspring. We start with the genotypes of the parents. PW, suppose this is the male, and WW the female. Then the gametes of the parents. The male gives two types of male gametes. Half of them carry the P allele and the other half carry the W allele. All the female gametes will carry the W allele. The proportion of the gametes are half for each male gamete and one for the female gametes. Now we draw the Punnett square and fill it with the previous data, the gametes and their proportion. Upon fertilization, we get two types of F2 descendants. Half of them are PW and the other half is WW. Now draw the T-chart to analyze the results of fertilization. PW gives P and forms half, and WW gives W and forms half. This type of crosses is called test cross. What is the importance of the test cross? This purple flower has a phenotype P, where the P allele is dominant over the W allele. The possible genotypes of the purple flower can be PP or PW, where the dominant allele expresses itself in the homozygote and heterozygote states. Now we want to know the real genotype. Is it PP or PW? In the other words, is it homozygous dominant or heterozygous dominant? Let's recall these crosses. When two parents of pure race are crossed, the result is 100% hybrid descendants, PW. But when one of them is hybrid and the other is pure, then the results are 50% hybrid descendants and 50% pure descendants. So, when the descendants are 100% hybrids, the parent expressing the dominant allele is homozygous dominant. But when 50% of the descendants are hybrids, then the parent expressing the dominant allele will be heterozygous dominant or hybrid. So the test cross is done to determine the real genotype of the individual expressing the dominant allele, whether he is homozygous or heterozygous. To conclude, test cross is done between two parents, one expressing the dominant allele and the other one expressing the recessive allele. If the individual expressing the dominant allele is homozygous, the descendants will be 100% hybrids. If he is heterozygous, the descendants will be 50% of them expressing the dominant allele and 50% will express the recessive allele. Let's solve application number 1. Complete the following diagram, the types of crosses. This one is called test cross. Self-fertilization gives 75% expressing the dominant allele and 25% expressing the recessive allele. The remaining type of crosses is hybridization, and it gives 100% hybrid descendants or offspring. Now comes the typical exercise. Part A. A cross done between male mice with white fur and female mice with gray fur gives descendants only with gray fur. So white crosses gray gives gray. So you must concluded that gray is the dominant allele and white is the recessive allele. All the descendants are gray, so they are homogeneous. Then we can conclude that the parents are of pure race and the descendants are hybrids. Let's see how to solve these questions. Number 1. What conclusions can be derived from this cross? Justify your answer. Since all the mice in the first generation are gray, the gray allele is dominant over the white allele. Since all the descendants are homogeneous, all are gray, the parents are pure and the descendants are hybrid for this trait. Number 2. Designate by symbols the corresponding alleles. Let capital G be the symbol of the dominant gray allele and let small w be the symbol of the white recessive allele. Number 3. Write the genotypes of the parents and of the descendants. Male parental mice WW since they are pure. Female parental mice GG since they are pure, and the descendants or the F1 are GW since they are hybrids. Part B. Another cross is done between a male mouse from the first generation and a female mouse with white fur. Then this cross is done between a hybrid parent and a pure one. Make factorial analysis to determine the phenotypic and genotypic percentages of the descendants F2 and name this cross. We start with the genotypes of the parents, which are GW for the male and WW for the female. The gametes of the parents. There are two types of main gametes. Half of them carry the G allele and the other half carry the W allele. All the female gametes carry the W allele. Percentages of the gametes: 50% for each male gamete and 100% for the female gametes. Then we draw the Punnett square and we move all this data to it. Then fertilization occurs between male and female gametes. We get GW and WW. Each one of them constitutes 50%. We analyze this data in a T-chart, genotypes of F2 and phenotypes of F2. GW gives G and WW gives W. And each one of them constitutes 50%. This type of crosses is called test cross. And finally comes the assignment. Thanks for watching us and have a nice day.